Ciao amici, come state oggi? Io sto bene, sono nella mia aula, la mia camera da letto, dove faccio queste lezioni di italiano per voi. Allora, grazie per essere venuti, grazie per essere tornati. In this video today, I'm going to teach you a few different ways that you can express your needs. This is very important, especially when you're traveling, because sometimes you just need something. Maybe it's a pharmacy, or maybe it's a glass of water, or maybe it's a bathroom, whatever it is. You really need to know how to communicate your needs, and your needs should be met, right? So I've written a list down here. It says expressing needs in English, and then I've written 4 different ways that we're going to learn to do that. In the first one is the verb dovere. Dovere translates to have to or must. It's a modal verb, just like volere and potere, and I've also done videos on those two. So we're going to dissect this one today and look at all of the conjugations and ways we use it. Numero 2 is the expression with avere, avere bisogno di. And again, same thing with dovere. We're going to break it down, look at all the conjugations and ways we use it. Both of these verbs are irregular. Dovere and avere are both irregular. And the third way we can communicate a need is with the verb servire. Servire is a regular verb, and we're actually only going to be using 2 different conjugations with servire, and we will get to that soon. And then the last way we can communicate needs is using the expressions è necessario, it's necessary, and bisogna. Bisogna comes from the verb bisognare, but we're just going to use this conjugation, the third person singular conjugation. So make a mental note here. Bisogna ends in an A, it's feminine, and then with the expression with avere, bisogno ends in an O. Va bene? Cominciamo e guardiamo il verbo dovere. Allora, ecco le coniugazioni del verbo dovere. Come ho detto prima, è irregolare. It's irregular, okay? So, ripetete. And notice, okay, that for 2 of the conjugations, io and loro, there are actually 2 different ways that you can say the conjugation, okay? So, ripetete tutto. Io devo, but you can also say io debbo, tu devi, lui, lei deve, noi dobbiamo, voi dovete, loro devono. And you can also say loro debbono, okay? But usually the conjugations are all said, they're said more frequently with the words in orange, with using the V for the conjugations. So I'm going to erase those 2 and just concentrate on the orange conjugations, just so you're not super confused, because it's more current for people to use this conjugation instead of the debbo and the debbono. Va bene? So with this verb, this modal verb, dovere, you're going to use it to say that you have to do something or that you must do something. But with this verb, it needs to be followed by another action. Okay, so it's going to be followed by another verb. And remember, when you have 2 verbs in a sentence, you're going to conjugate the first verb and then leave the second verb in the infinitive, okay? So if I said, I have to study, then I would conjugate dovere and leave studiare in the infinitive. Devo studiare. Devo studiare. And I hope that you're at home repeating after me as always, okay? If I want to say, we must wake up early, dobbiamo svegliarci presto. Dobbiamo svegliarci presto. So that svegliarci, that's a reflexive verb, and the pronoun was attached at the end. So if you caught that, good job. You have to leave that verb svegliar in the infinitive, drop the E, and then attach the pronoun on the end, okay? So it's very simple. So conjugate dovere, follow it with an infinitive. E basta, è molto semplice. So something that you can do with dovere, though, is that you can use it in the third person singular with si in front of the conjugation, and you can use it to mean one must, okay? So one must is something that maybe within a society or a culture it's important to do, okay? Allora, un esempio di questo periodo del coronavirus, okay? Si può dire. And so did you notice that I said si può dire? So I put that si in front of the conjugation of potere, può dire, and that translates into one can say. And we also say come si dice. Come si dice, that si is in the third person singular conjugation of the verb dire. And what that translates to is how does one say? So instead of asking how do you and directing it at somebody, you use this one to mean in a general way, and that's how you put it together. So si può dire in questo periodo del coronavirus si deve mettersi la mascherina. Si deve mettersi la mascherina. Va bene? One must put on the mask, okay? Quando si esce, when one goes out. Quando si entra in un negozio, or quando si sta con altre persone. Va bene? So that si, si, obviously, then you can use it in front of any verb in the third person singular conjugation to mean one, okay? And that again means in a general way. Va bene? Allora guardiamo il prossimo verbo o l'espressione con avere. Avere bisogno di. But before we start that, I'm going to go through the conjugations of avere, just avere, to refresh your memory. Ecco le coniugazioni del verbo avere, ok? Ripetete. Io ho, tu hai, lui, lei ha, noi abbiamo, voi avete, loro hanno. And you see the capital I, la I maiuscola, then you know that's irregular. And remember that when an H begins a word in Italian, it's silent. So don't say ho, say o. Va bene? So with this expression, you're not just using avere, which just means to have. The expression is avere bisogno di. So it's to have need of. So don't change bisogno. Bisogno stays in its form as it is. Bisogno, ending in an O. And then di, you might have to articulate sometimes if you have an article, a definite article that's going to blend with di. But it has to be followed by di. Whereas dovere had to be followed by an action or a verb, you can follow avere bisogno di with either an action or verb or a noun. But if you do need something that's an object or a thing or a person, then you need to use this expression, not dovere. Va bene? Allora, vi do alcuni esempi con questa espressione. Va bene? So this is one that's nice to know if you want to ask somebody if they need help, okay? Hai bisogno di aiuto? Hai bisogno di aiuto? So you just conjugate avere, everything else stays the same, see? Un altro esempio con una persona. So this example too is with a person, a thing, a noun, not a verb. They need me. So you want to say they have need of me. Hanno bisogno di me. Hanno bisogno di me. Not io, because remember, when you have a preposition and you follow it with a subject, that it's called a disjunctive pronoun. And so me is the disjunctive pronoun for me, but it's because it's following a preposition. Va bene? So I said earlier you can also use this expression with actions or with verbs. So we can even use the same example that we did with the verb dovere, and we can say, I have to study, okay? You can either use dovere or you can use this expression, but you have to have all of these elements. So with this expression, it would be ho bisogno di studiare, ho bisogno di studiare. Va bene? So one last thing that I want to mention here about this expression is that when you use it, it has to do with something that is a need, like a dire need, something that's necessary. It's not, you wouldn't use avere bisogno di if you need to go shopping and buy a cute new outfit, okay, something that's not necessary, it's something that's for fun. Or if you want some ice cream, you wouldn't say, I need ice cream. You would say, I want ice cream, okay? So don't confuse wants and needs, although sometimes there's a gray area and they're interchangeable. But think about it as something that's more, like I said, a necessity, va bene? Allora, il prossimo verbo, I said on the list that it was the verb servire, which means to serve. But in this context of expressing needs, we're only going to use it in two conjugations. The third person singular, serve, and then the plural, the third person plural, servono, okay? So the way to put this all together is that you're going to put an indirect object pronoun in front of either serve or servono, talking about whoever it is needs this thing. And if you don't know what these indirect object pronouns are, I wrote them right here. So an indirect object pronoun refers to whom. So I have these in my book, The ABCs of Italian Travel, as well, all these grammatical tidbits that you need to put all of this stuff together. So if you haven't purchased that book, I'd recommend getting it. I think it's really helpful to have something written that you can refer to as well. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can just Google it, The ABCs of Italian Travel. E grazie mille per il vostro sostegno, and I appreciate your support in that way. So ripetete, just repeat these indirect object pronouns after me. Mi, ti, li, and that is to him, le, to her. Ci, to us, vi, to you all, and li is to them. And I forgot to say the me is to me and the ti is to you. Okay, so what you do when you use this verb and these indirect object pronouns, what you're saying is it's necessary to me this thing. But what it translates is I need this thing, but there's no I in it. The I you're going to use if you use dovere or ho bisogno di. But with this verb, you're not going to follow it with a verb. You're going to follow it with an object. So you're going to say this object, this thing, is necessary to whoever it is that you're talking about, me or you or he or us or all of these possibilities right here. So let me give you some examples so this makes sense. And I feel like this expression is really useful while you're traveling because maybe you're out and about and there's something that's lacking and you need to talk to somebody and ask them for this thing, and it's totally appropriate to use this to say I need this thing, but it's a polite way of expressing that need, okay? So say you're in a restaurant and you sit down and you don't have a fork and you need a fork to eat your delicious pasta, okay? You would say mi serve una forchetta. Mi serve una forchetta. Okay? And what it translates to is I need a fork. But the fork is serving to me. So when we translate it like that, it doesn't really make sense. But if you just remember the formula and then you put the object afterwards. So because una forchetta was singular, that's why we use the third person singular conjugation serve. So if we're talking about plural objects, then we're going to use the plural conjugation servono, okay? So say then that you're in the hotel and you have used up all your towels and you need to go down to the front desk and ask for towels, okay? You would say ci servono. You're talking about us, we need, okay? Ci servono gli asciugamani. Ci servono gli asciugamani. Va bene? Benissimo. Andiamo avanti alle ultime due espressioni, va bene? Allora, è necessario, it's necessary, and bisogna. Bisogna comes from the verb bisognare, which is to need to, but you're never going to conjugate that verb. You're only going to use bisogna, this third person conjugation, and what it translates to is one must, okay? But you don't need to put that C in front of it. You just say bisogna, okay? So just remember that one conjugation. And note also that it is different than the expression with the avere, because that bisogno ends in an O. Avere bisogno, and then D, and it always stays like that. It's always ending in O. And this one, on the other hand, is always ending in A. One must. Bisogna. Okay? So what you're saying with both of these really is it's necessary. One must do this thing. Okay? So when you use these two expressions in the present indicative, you're going to follow them with an infinitive. So I can use them interchangeably, and we can use the verb studiare again because you are all students of Italian. Siete tutti studenti di italiano, e è necessario studiare, or bisogna studiare, right? It's necessary to study. È necessario studiare italiano. Bisogna studiare italiano. So either one works, va bene? We could also use this to say maybe like with the example with the masks during this coronavirus period. We can use these two expressions too. È necessario mettersi la mascherina quando si esce. Bisogna mettersi la mascherina quando si esce. Okay? Both of those work. So just this expression immediately followed by the infinitive. È necessario mangiare bene. Bisogna mangiare bene. It's necessary. One must eat well. And that ties into the coronavirus too, right? We need to be healthy and strong, so we need to eat our vegetables and get as many vitamins as we can, okay? So again, these expressions followed by the infinitive, and that's that, okay? So if you look on the board, on my whiteboard, you'll see underneath where it says è necessario che, and then bisogna che, because you can also use these expressions to say it's necessary that something else happen. Like I could say, it's necessary that you study Italian, or bisogna che he comes to my house tonight, or something like that. But if you use these two phrases followed by che and then you change the subject, you're no longer in the present indicative, you're in the present subjunctive. And that's another tense that we're not going to get into in this video. Someday, okay? Nel futuro, in the future. But that's a big one. We're not going to open that door. So ignore this. Just use the top ones with these expressions followed by the infinitive. Va bene? Ok, allora abbiamo finito la lezione. We finished the lesson. E vi do un quiz, un piccolo quiz, just a small little quiz, come sempre facciamo alla fine. Va bene? Siete pronti? Okay, get out maybe a notebook and maybe you could write it down, or pause the video. I'm not going to take a lot of time after I ask you what to say and give you the answer. So don't hesitate in just pausing the video. Here we go. So for this quiz, I want to let you know there are multiple ways that you can say what I'm going to ask you to say. So if you get one, that's great. If you get both, that's great too. So see what you can come up with. So numero uno, come si dice? She needs to sleep. So you can respond with the verb dovere, and you can say lei, or you can exclude lei, deve dormire, deve dormire. You can also use the expression avere bisogno di, and you can say lei ha bisogno di dormire. Lei ha bisogno di dormire. You would not say lei serve dormire. That doesn't make sense. And you can't say è necessario che lei, because then you're using the subjunctive, and I said we're not going to get into that. If I wanted to say it's necessary to sleep, then we could use a necessario or bisogna, but we have a subject here, and it's lei, so that excludes those two expressions. How did it go? Come è andato? Benissimo. Allora, numero due. You all, you plural, need a car. Come si dice? Avete bisogno di una macchina. Or you can say avete bisogno di un'automobile. Macchina, automobile, you could say auto, okay? But you can use avere bisogno di perfectly. This is an object, it's a thing. You cannot use the verb dovere because we're talking about a thing, not another action. But you can also use servire and the indirect object pronoun. So that would be vi serve una macchina or vi serve un'automobile, va bene? Allora, numero 3. Come si dice? It's necessary to drink water. So here, there are 3 different ways to say it. Think about what those might be. The first, numero 1, è necessario bere l'acqua. È necessario bere l'acqua. You can also use the expression with bisogna. Bisogna bere l'acqua. Bisogna bere l'acqua. And then you can also use dovere with that si in the front of the third person singular conjugation. One must. Si deve bere l'acqua. Si deve bere l'acqua. Benissimo. Anch'io. Ok, l'ultimo, numero 4. Come si dice? You need the books. And there are 2 different ways that you can say it. Ok, la prima risposta è tu, or again, you can exclude the to. You don't have to include that subject pronoun. Hai bisogno dei libri. Hai bisogno dei libri. And there, that D is articulated with the definite article E, and it forms dei. Did you get that? Che bravi. And then the other way that you can say it is with servire and the indirect object pronoun. Ti servono I libri. Ti servono I libri. And it's servono because I libri is plural. Did you get that too? Fantastico. Siete meravigliosi. Che bravi studenti che siete. Allora, abbiamo finito, ok? So, buono studio, enjoy your studying, e grazie per essere venuti qui con me. And if you need some other resources, check out my website, learnitalianfortravel.com. There's other things that I do, that I offer there. I sell a book and a downloadable PDF file and an advanced course that you can do as well. And I also offer individual Skype lessons if you're interested in that. Va bene, grazie mille, a presto amici, ciao!